Good evening. Welcome to the Napoleon Memoirs. Our major endeavor here is to obsess about Napoleon, find out about who he really was, and we want to find out about his enemies and his struggle for which he gave his life. Okay. So we're looking into the memoirs of Napoleon's poisoner, Charles Tristan de Montagne. I think these memoirs are so well written. I'm surprised. He couldn't keep his story straight. I went through his letters to his wife while this was going on. It's quite a different story, okay? Because she's a co conspirator with him and they're up to things and they know the English government's reading every word. But he still can't keep his story straight. And yet, here, he is keeping his story very straight. And he seems like he is the best friend in the world to Napoleon. And he maintained that his whole life. Nobody thought he poisoned Napoleon during his life. It was only, I will say, I want to say the 50s, a Swedish man named Sven Forveshed read Marchand's memoirs. And Marchand was Napoleon's valet de chambre, who was extremely loyal to him, loved Napoleon deeply, respected him. And somehow this Swedish man got his hands on Marchand's memoirs, which I have read. There is a link on the blog. Okay, so check that out. Marchand was a good man, and he did tell the truth. And I did already broadcast these in English. Anyway, so Sven Forveshed got his hands on Marchand's memoirs. And because he was a toxicologist, he knows what it looks like when someone is being slowly poisoned by arsenic as a murder technique. And this goes back, okay? And again, aristocrats, aristocrats really know their poisoning. Look into it, okay? So this is something that was going on in the 1600s. History keeps repeating itself because the same people like to be in charge and they don't like to work. Okay, so they have to be very crafty and they have to know how to kill people and get away with it. And this was the method that they used, this slow poisoning. And then here it showed up again in Napoleon. And Sven Forfeited went through all kinds of trouble to get his hands on locks of Napoleon's hair because everybody wanted his hair as a souvenir because he was such a great man. And Sven Vorvsud managed to have this hair tested and it was full of arsenic. And they could tell you when the arsenic started very early on. So he was being poisoned the whole time. And then, of course, who came running? The damage control experts. And they did every single thing they could to throw dust in everybody's eyes about this and confuse everybody because they don't like when their secrets are exposed, okay? And they don't like when their methods are exposed, okay? So it had to be Montagne, and I think his wife too. I think his wife killed. I think his wife had a child with Napoleon and then killed the child. And I have made my case about that on the blog. It's very sad. But they didn't want any of Napoleon's heirs to live either. This is serious stuff. Okay? So let's get into Montagne. Montagne's a very intriguing character. I actually wrote a play about this whole thing. Montagne and Napoleon and Marchand and all this stuff. And it was called Longwood. And it was performed in the city in the late 90s. And I thought it was a great play, but of course, it went nowhere. Guess why? The truth is not very welcomed in this world. And my play was very truthful. Anyway, do I sound better? I might be a little bit. Anyway, so let's check out to a degree. I mean, the world shouldn't be like this. There should be equal opportunities. Artists should be able to express themselves honestly. They should be as obsessed with Napoleon as they want to be. And if people are interested in that obsession, they shouldn't have the game rigged against them. They shouldn't have the numbers lied about. They shouldn't have shadow banning. All kinds of things that happen to me are wrong. And we all know that. We all know that. We all know the situation right now. And that I will fight. I will fight to my last breath that the truth come out about all of these things. Because I don't agree with them. I find them completely unacceptable. That's how I feel. Okay, so let's see what's going on. I'm always into your trying. always trying to mess up the trafficking. They love their trafficking. English gold. You know, that's always major priority. So here we go. Let's do this. Unfortunately for us, these outpourings of the emperor's thoughts are very rare. He generally confined his conversation to some words of politeness or of curiosity respecting our route. Sometimes, however, he gave rise to scientific discussions by asking questions respecting to India or China. On the 23rd of September, 1815, we crossed the line by one of those singular hazards which sometimes occur at latitude 0, longitude 0, declination 0. That is to say, the vessel, conducted by a west wind, which had blown for several days, came under the line exactly at midday at the first meridian, and on the day of week equinox. The passage of the line occasions a great merrymaking and a kind of saturnalia among the sailors. All is confusion, overturning the natural order of things on board. The boatswain represents Neptune. He is sovereign for a few hours, and no one is exempted by his rank from receiving baptism, a kind of grotesque homage to be rendered to the monarch of the seas by anyone who has not before passed the line. Neptune exhibited towards us a very gracious respect. He exempted us from the ceremonies of shaving and of baptism. And when each of us, conducted by our godfathers for the time being, was presented to him, he told us that we had too often received the baptism of fire and of glory to require another baptism before becoming his friends. And when the ceremony was concluded, he asked to be allowed the honor of making acquaintance with the demigod called General Bonaparte. The emperor graciously consented to the presentation and gave through the Grand Marshal 500 Napoleons to Neptune in order that he and all his court might drink to his health. That he and all his court, that was the signal for deafening hurrahs and cries of "Long live the Emperor of Napoleon!" The Admiral and Captain Ross did not venture to oppose this royal liberality, but they feared, and with justice, the consequences of it, knowing that all this money to the last farthing would be expended in drink. The captain formed a clever plan. He congratulated the monarch of the seas on his good fortune, and harangued him so well that poor Neptune called to mind the flogging which would next Monday await those who became intoxicated, and offered to deposit the 500 Napoleons in the hands of his captain, to be returned to him on the discharging of the crew on one condition, namely, an extra quantity of rum should be given out as a ratification of the treaty. This plan was a wise one, for even notwithstanding it, Neptune and 20 of his subjects of a day would have been cruelly flogged next Monday. So intoxicated had they been, if we had not obtained their pardon from the admiral. You know? Gotta drink when you have to deal with all this stuff. That's what I've been saying for years. Anyway, it's pretty funny. Every memoirs talks about this crazy Neptune ceremony. It's crazy. Every insane thing happened with this Neptune. All right, anyway. Listen to all the memoirs. They're interesting. There's a link on the blog. Listen to them. You'll learn everything. You actually find out the truth. And maybe it'll set you free. It might actually set you free. If enough people know the truth, they'll stop putting up with the lies. All right, we're going to get into Las Casas in Italian. I'm going to hope and pray I understand this. It is a beautiful language, truly beautiful language. I hope people can understand what I'm saying. I'm doing my best. Okay, anyway, so something about eyes last thing. Okay, let's do it. Mandato Posce e missioni da vostra maestà e avendo percorso più di 60 spartimenti, misi la cura più scrupolosa e tutta la buona fede nel verificare quello onde avessi lungamente dubitato. Interrogai i prefetti, le autorità inferiori mi feci presentare i documenti e i registri. Interrogai i semplici privati senza essere conosciuto. Posi in opera ogni mezzo possibile e nebbi la profonda convinzione essere il governo del tutto nazionale e pienamente conformi al voto popolare. Non mai la Francia, in nessuna epoca della storia, è state più forti, più fiorenti, meglio amministrate, più felici, non mai le strade meglio conservate. L'agricoltura aver guadagnato d'un decimo di un nonno di un ottavo in produzioni, un inquietudini, un ardore generali, animavano ciascuno a lauro e lo portavano ad un miglioramento personale e quotidiano, resi naturalizzato l'indacolo zucchero. Anch'esso stava per ottenersi. Non mai in nessuna epoca il commercio interno ed ogni maniera le nostri erano saliti in tal fiori in cambio dei 4 milioni di libri di cotone che si impiegavano al tempo della rivoluzione. Se ne lavoravano in presenti più che 30 milioni di libri. E benché non potessimo riceverlo per la via dei mari e ci venissi per terra sino a Costantinopoli, Rowana era divenuto un vero prodigio nella sua produzione. Le imposte si pagavano per ogni dove, la conscrizione era divenuta nazionale. La Francia invece di crescere in popolazione ne contava già un maggiore, la quale andava man mano crescendo, allora che con questi dati ricomparvi nei miei antichi cercoli la fu una vera insurrezione, si mossero schiavazzi, miserisi e facci, mai che verranno alcune persone assinanti ed io mi trovavo forti, alcuni resi per lo meno dubbiosi, altri convinti ed io pure ebbi le mie conquiste. L'imperatore, riassumendo, riceva doversi convenire che la nostra politica riunioni in Santa Elena teneva dello straordinario e che avevamo raggiunto un centro comune per vie diverse e da noi percorsi in buona fede, nulla pertanto diceva egli, provava meglio il caso d'incertezza e la fatalità che d'ordinario ravolgono i cuori più distinti ed onesti nel labirinto della rivoluzione. Ognuno cosa esiano prova meglio, quanto l'indocenza e le moderazioni siano necessari per ricomporre la società dopo lunghi sconvolgimenti. Queste disposizioni e gli stessi principi proseguivali vi hanno reso l'uomo più adatto alle circostanze brumali e alle stesse disposizioni e gli stessi principi lo costituivano ancora per avventura l'uomo più opportuno nelle circostanze in cui versava la Francia. Something about revolution. That's all I got. All right. Maybe one day. I wish I knew more. I really did. We'll see. Maybe we can learn Italian together. Hopefully. Anyway, French I do understand gratefully. This one I do. Poor Lavalette. Poor Lavalette. Waiting to have his head cut off for running the post office because he knew all their secrets. And the criminals took over. And they can't have someone knowing their secrets. Right? So they had to kill him. That's not fair, is it? See? But we don't have to put up with that. No, we really don't. You know, people really should have stood up for that. A lot of people did stand for Lavalette, but not enough. You know? We need to stand together when really terrible things are happening, you know? Because we have a responsibility to each other. You know, we can't just exploit each other. I mean, that's what I'm always trying to help people see. You know, you can't just hurt other people and it's not going to affect you. Anyway, so last time Lavalette found out that Ney was shot, he was thrilled that Ney was so lucky to have such a pleasant execution, okay? And, you know, that's what it is when the terrorists take over. You're just so happy to die in a non-super painful way. And it shouldn't be this way. We shouldn't have to live under secret society terrorists who are being remote controlled by English gold, okay? I don't use names because I've already been sued twice for telling the truth, and that just shows you how it works. I'm not the criminal. I shouldn't be getting sued. I should be suing people, you know? And yet I don't sue people. I get sued. Okay, see, that's wrong. And all kinds of people should be standing up for me and defending me because I'm right. And I'm standing up for everybody, and everybody should be standing up for me as well. That's what we call solidarity and unity and sovereignty, okay? We are being exploited because we are allowing ourselves to be exploited, okay? And they laugh at us, and they think we're idiots because we let them do these things to us. And that's the truth, okay? So we're going to go back to Lavalette waiting to be executed for running the post office, okay? And people just stand by and let this happen, okay? All right, here we go. Les jours s'écoulèrent cependant. Un de mes avocats me proposa de ne pas attendre le jugement de la Cour de cassation et d'écrire au roi, puis abandonner à ses clémences. J'avais une invincible répugnance à faire une telle démarche. Son confrère n'était pas de cet avis. Elle pourrait être fort dangereuse ou ne produire aucun effet. Si le roi veut faire grâce, il attendra le jugement de la Cour. S'il est décidé à ne pas le faire, il attendra encore. Il est donc préférable de ne rien changer à la marche naturelle de cette affaire. Madame la duchesse de Plaisance, fille du ministre de la Justice, vint un jour chercher Madame Lavalette et la conduit ici chez son père. Ces deux dames tomberont aux pieds du vénérable vieillard. Sa fille fondait en larmes, les pressait de ses mains jointes et suscitait avec une violence et une ardeur dont pouvant avoir une idée ceux-là seulement qui ont le bonheur de la connaître. En l'écoutant, des larmes coulaient silencieusement sur les joues du ministre, mais elle ne peut en obtenir un seul mot. C'était de mauvais augure. Il était clair qu'il y avait peu d'espérance. Le 20 décembre, le jugement fut appelé à la Cour suprême. 6 moyens de cassation furent présentés, mais malgré l'éloquent plaidoyer de M. Derieux, le jugement qu'on trouvait bon et confirmé. Ce fut M. Baudu, un de mes amis, qui va m'annoncer cette triste nouvelle, mais il s'appliqua à détruire toute l'impression qu'elle pouvait faire sur moi. Par d'espérance qui apparaissait si positif que j'ai commencé à le partager. Lorsqu'une heure après sa sortie, monsieur le grand voisin entra chez moi. L'impression terrible du jugement n'était pas encore effacée de son visage. Il espérait encore, mais ces raisonnements partillons d'esprit préoccupé qui aurait trouvé plus facile de me parler de résignation. So another, very benevolent aristocrat, the Duchess of Plaisance, went to his wife, and she was the daughter of a big judge, and they went and threw themselves at this judge's feet and begged him to save Lavallette's life. And he started to cry, and he didn't say a word. And then this was appealed to the higher court, and they all convicted him to kill him. Okay, so that shows you what happens when there's a conspiracy and everyone goes along with it. Okay? And that is what I'm constantly saying. I'm constantly asking the conspiracy to stop. Okay? Because you guys can stop this. Okay? I know you guys love your big houses and your limos and stuff and your private planes. I know you guys love this stuff, but it's not worth it. Okay? Because I live in the Hamptons. I live right where you guys live. Okay? You guys are under jurisdiction. People are getting really sick of this stuff. Okay? And I'm really asking you guys to turn it around. I've been doing all kinds of things to get attention for the truth because I've been watching you guys my whole life. And what you're doing is not going to end you in a good place. And you guys really might end up in trouble. And you're not going to be able to get out of it. And I'm not talking about jail. I'm talking about spiritual places you don't want to end up in. I'm not talking about the lake of fire. I'm talking about things you don't want to get stuck in. And money is not worth it. We really need to work together and stop hurting people. Because this conspiracy is very powerful. The fact that they all, they're lockstep with each other. And having lived amongst these people, I know a lot of them are human and have hearts. And they just think they have to go along with it. I've been around you people my whole life. I know what you guys are like. I know you guys are not all monsters. But you've been acting like monsters. And that's the truth. That is really sad. And all these innocent people shouldn't have to die because you guys just love your money so much. It's sick. Look, your soul is more important than your money. I live in a very rich area. I know what this is. I know how people give up their souls for money. This organized crime flourishes where I live. It is all over where I live. And believe me, I know because I've always been around it. That's how I know all these things. Organized crime is everywhere where I live. The rich people are involved in organized crime. And when I drive down by the beach, I'm like, crime bought all these houses. It's the truth. It's crime. Crime is buying all this wealth. And it needs to change. We could have a better world, but the conspiracy needs to really change its values. And I know a lot of people in the conspiracy know I'm right about that and really want to get out of it. And I will certainly do everything I can to help them get out of that. I am completely on their side. I really want things to get better. I'm not here to make people's lives terrible. What happened, Matt Lauer? I was mad. I'm sorry, but it's not about that. I'm not trying to tear people down. I just want things to get better. And you guys can't treat us like this. You know, we're human beings too. We're not manimals. I can't believe I said that. But you treat us like livestock. You know, you treat us like manimals. We're not. We're people too. We're people just like you guys are. You know, we should have opportunities to. We should have access to commerce. We shouldn't be treated like this. This is really wrong. I shouldn't have my numbers lied about. I shouldn't have the game rigged against me. I should have every opportunity in the world to express myself. And all of you know that. You know, in your hearts, you are still people. Even if you got it caught up in this conspiracy at some point, even if you were born into it, you can still get out of it. And that's what I'm trying to say. We're all on the same side. The people that are trying to like trap us and trick us, they're not our friends. They're not your friends either. They're not your friends either. Certainly not our friends. And these are the people that murdered Napoleon and the good people around him. These were good people. And the world became much worse over the last 200 years. I mean, if you look into the memoirs, these people are well educated. A lot of them have good parents and good lives. And now everybody's abused. Everybody's tormented. We're all brought up in this kind of like MK Ultra trauma mentality thing. I mean, I look back on my childhood. I was always being traumatized in school. I was being traumatized with the television. We're being traumatized on purpose. That's why people have no courage, because they're terrified. They don't realize why they're so unhappy. People are being mentally tortured by media and school and the money system. We have to turn this around. Being a coward is not working. It's only getting worse because people are so cowardly. All right, I'm gonna get into marking Spanish. The ranting. I can't stop ranting. I'm so fed up. Like I don't know how a person can be as fed up as I am. Still function. I'm so fed up. It's so unacceptable. It's so wrong. You know, and there's a whole conspiracy that just like ignores everything I'm saying. And then my numbers are turned off and my comments or whatever disappear and stuff. It's like, it's not like this is fooling anyone. You know, it just shows that I'm right. It's really pathetic that I'm up against these like kind of trickster game players that play pretend together. This is pathetic. And you guys know it. You guys do know it. Okay. And everybody knows it. So keep playing pretend and see how it goes. All right. So it's time for it's Marky. Let's do this. All right. 26 de octubre. A las 6:15 de la mañana, el emperador está menos bien que ayer. La debilidad en las fibras es general. El frío en las extremidades se renueva continuamente, a pesar de todos los medios que empleo para disiparlo. El cuerpo presenta una palidez excesiva. El 3 ha pasado Napoleón a casa del gran mariscal, donde se ha estado hasta las 6. Durante este intervalo le ha atacado una horripilación general acompañada de sed ardiente. Bebí limonada y se así preparar un gran fuego, cerca del cual procura entrar en calor. Sus fuerzas están enteramente abatidas. ¿Qué situación es la mía, doctor? todo me pesa, todo me fatiga, y apenas puedo sostenerme en todos los recursos de vuestro arte. ¿No tenéis miedo alguno de reanimar el juego de la máquina? Al mismo tiempo, indicaba con su ademán el conjunto de sus órganos. Yo le dije que la medicina tenía muchos recursos, prontos y eficaces. Pero, señor, el tiempo, sí, el tiempo, posterioriza el mal y la muerte lo termina. 27 y 28 de octubre sigue en igual estado, sin ninguna mejoría. El pulso débil y vibrátil. 29 de octubre, sus fuerzas se debilitan continuamente, tiene un profundo dolor en el hipocondrio derecho, evacuaciones abundantes de materias de bastante buen color, pero que parecía no haber tenido una perfecta digestión. Había ya algunos días que duraban, que se prevenir los graves inconvenientes que podrían ocasionar, insistí en la necesidad de una curación medical, habiendo dejado escapar alguna palabra sobre la alteración que me parecían haber experimentado las funciones del estómago, así como las del hígado. El emperador me replicó vivamente: ¿qué es lo que decís del estómago? Sabed que el mío está sano y que nunca en ninguna parte ni circunstancia he padecido el menor mal, que no se hable más de esto. ¿Lo entendéis? Well, he's just dying, and his digestive system's being slowly destroyed because the English code wants him to die of natural causes. And he visits Bertrand, his grand marshal, and he's like, falls apart. He's just dying. It's so horrible they did this to him. But that's, this is to show the sadism and the cruelty of the puppet masters, the puppet master dynasty. I don't say their name because, I don't know, I don't need to be sued again. But the puppet master dynasty is not hard to figure out who they are. Real easy. Real easy. It's real easy. City of London. That's where you'll find all these people. City of London. Oh, do they have rules in City of London? I hear they don't. I hear they can do whatever they want. That's interesting, isn't it? That there's these little special magical places where bankers can do anything they want. Isn't that interesting? How does that work? Rules for us, right? We get rules. We can't even leave the house, We got to humiliate ourselves to go outside. Oh, but they don't have any rules. That's always really interesting. When certain people don't have any rules and can do anything they want, and then we can't even leave the house and we're humiliated to even go to the supermarket. We have to give in to some BS and nonsense. It's actually very humiliating. And, masks are a part of satanic rituals. That's something that's done to dehumanize, and there's no medical reason for it. None. Look it up. So we're really being subjected to kind of satanic ritual type things. And that's unacceptable. I didn't sign up for that. When I was born into this world, I don't want to be a part of either I join this cult or I have to stay home and maybe die at home or something. Because it's not healthy to stay home forever. That's not healthy for us. So, it's all for our health. It's actually very unhealthy for us. All of these wonderful things for our health. I'm just so tired of being lied to. And I'm so tired of being trapped. And it's not fair. I mean, like I said, I can fight, but just one person fighting isn't much. Let's do German, okay? Nachdem auch für diese Art für die Defensive gesorgt war, så hatte ich mich nur noch mit der Offensive zu beschäftigen, die darin bestand, in Cherbourg die Masse unserer Flotte vereinigen zu können. Nun konnte aber die Redner 15 Linienschiffe fassen, für mehrere Raum zu schaffen, ließ ich einen neuen Hafen ausholen. Nie haben die Römer eine größere, schwierigere, auf längere Dauer berechnete Unternehmung vorgenommen. Man grube diesen 50 Fuß tiefen Granit ein. Ich ließ die Hoffnung desselben durch die Gegenwart der Marie-Louise feiern, indem ich selbst auf den Schlachtfeldern von Sachsen abwesend war. Auf diese Art erhielt ich Raum für weitere 25 Linienschiffe. Diese war aber noch nicht hinreichend und mein Plan war noch auf eine weiter größere Ausdehnung berechnet. Ich war entschlossen, zu Cherbourg die Wunde von Ägypten neu auszulegen. Ich hatte schon in dem mir meine Pyramide errichtet. Nun werde ich auch meinen Morris eingerichtet haben. Mein großes Zweck war, imstande zu sein, zu Cherbourg unsere ganze Seemacht zu konzentrieren, die mit der Zeit unermesslich geworden sein würde, um dem Feind den großen Stoß beibringen zu können. Ich machte meine Verrücktungen auf die Art, dass es sicher die beiden Nationen hier sozusagen in Masse gegen Masse hätten ergreifen können. Und hier konnte dann der Ausgang nicht wohl zweifelhaft sein, dass wir 40 Millionen Franzosen gegen 15 Millionen Engländer gewesen wären. Ich würde durch eine Schlacht von Aktien geendigt haben. Was wollte ich denn aber eigentlich von England? Etwas einen Untergang? Der Krausenike verlangte von ihm nur das Ende einer unerträglichen Usurpation, den Genuss unserer Ausleger und geheiligte Rechte, die Entfesselung, die Freiheit der Meere, die Unabhängigkeit, die Erde flaggen. Ich sprach im Namen aller und zum Vorteil aller. Und ich würde meinen Zweck wieder im Guten oder mit Gewalt erreicht haben. Ich hatte die Macht, das offenbar reckte die Wünsche der Nationen auf meiner Seite. Ich hatte alle Ursachen zu nehmen, dass der Kreis von den Verlusten abgeschreckte Völker teilweise Unternehmungen zur sie herbeigeführt hatten und durch eine unglückliche Erfahrung belehrte, ein neues System des Kriegs ausgedacht hatte. Something about shipping or the Marine. Wish I could tell you more. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a really nice evening.